Christmas shows up every year wearing 1,000 disguises. It's a holy day wrapped in tinsel, a midnight mass followed by a 6 a.m. doorbuster sale. We sing about peace on earth while elbowing strangers over a parking spot. Somewhere between the nativity scene and the Amazon delivery truck, Christmas picked up a lot of baggage, but yet somehow still carries meaning. And yet, despite the noise, it refuses to become empty. Because at its core, Christmas makes a stubborn claim that meaning doesn't arrive through power, speed, or excess. It arrives quietly in vulnerability, in a world that glorifies bigger, faster, louder. Christmas insists on smaller, slower, humbler. That's why it survives every cultural remix. You can commercialize it, exhaust it, but you can't quite erase it. People still crave the gathering, the forgiveness, the hope that the year doesn't get the final word, the sense that light really does push back the dark. So today, we're not here to cancel Christmas or sentimentalize it. We're here to examine it, to ask what we've turned it into and what it's still trying to tell us. Because beneath the wrapping paper, Christmas parties, and playlists, Christmas is making a claim about who we are, what we long for, and whether hope is something we buy or something we receive.
Welcome to the Retrospect podcast, a show where people come together from different walks of life and discuss a topic from their generation's perspective. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Stoney.
Hello.
And Jason.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Got a little apology.
Oh.
I've been super congested, and I'm sucking on some cough drops to keep the nasal and my throat from being a little sore. So I will apologize to you guys and our listeners right now. So
Well, this weather is not.
I love the cold. I would rather the cold,
Right.
but whoo, man.
Yeah, this up and down, hot, cold. it plays havoc.
Yes.
I know I've been waking up all congested at times, and that's like, oh God, here we are again.
The roller coaster of winter.
I'm not a big, the winters here are just, they're so dreary. I mean, it doesn't stay like sunny, and it's a lot of sunshine and cool. It's just cloudy. It's kind of dreary a lot of times. It's just that's low-hanging clouds, and it's like, oh, God, it's just miserable outside. But right now it's warm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got another front fixing to come through, and they're talking about it being warm for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that time when I lived in Aspen.
Yeah.
And I may have said this 100 times on the show, but at Christmas time, it always pops back into my head. I flew home on Christmas Eve, and it was -11 in Aspen.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so I was prepared. When I got off the plane in New Orleans, it was 85 degrees on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
And it was like my face hitting a wall, the humidity, the heat. It was just crazy.
Very true. And that's what we're having right now. We're having one of those moments where like it dipped down to below freezing for us for a couple days.
Yes.
Or about a day or two. And
It's
then
done
now,
that, what, twice or 3 times now?
yeah, since Thanksgiving. Or didn't we have a little cold snap before Thanksgiving?
When I was a kid, Halloween was generally cold. You had to wear, but remember, since Doge has fired all of those scientists, we have, our weather is more normal, and we've had, this is the first June to December, the whole hurricane season, that we have had no named hurricanes in the Gulf or hit.
It's amazing how that works, huh?
Yeah, and then they've came out and said, I think this is the best Christmas present we could ever ask for. The FDA and the government is putting a ban on chemtrails and saying they're real, and we're going to stop. We need to stop that.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, the chemtrail stuff is starting to pick up some legs again. I've been seeing some news articles on it right now. So
I saw somebody put a chemical label on a water bottle that said dihydrogen monoxide, like for airplane or like for aviation use only, and it's like a chemical logo, and it said chemtrail fluid. It's just a bottle of water.
It's on the shelf right next to the blinker fluid.
You're right, 100%. It's so good. But yeah. This is the time of year where we all come together and we talk. We kind of talk about our Christmas season and things of that nature. It's been.
You know what I did?
What'd you do?
Tracy and I sat down in front of the TV, and we put on a Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Yeah, I haven't seen Charlie Brown in a long time.
I'm telling you, it brought tears in my eyes because I reflected back on my youth, and it reminded me of a world that just doesn't exist anymore, and it saddens me.
Yeah,
that they took those programs off the TV.
Yeah,
and put up a bunch of stupid stuff. I mean, they just did, and the simplicity of those little stick figures.
Yes,
that animation had such a powerful impact.
And the music,
it just for whatever reason. It's silly, but yet serious at the same time.
Yeah.
And I have to think back on those type of Christmas programming, those kind of cartoons that they were they had a lot of deep meaning to a lot of them. They really did.
Yeah.
And I recognize that really now. I see it versus back when you're a kid watching this stuff, you kind of take all that for granted.
Yeah.
So it's but we watched that, and
I was doing the same thing with the first Home Alone movie. I didn't realize how much Christian symbolism is in the first Home Alone until you really start to look at it, at least from like an adult perspective. And there's so much, like, I don't know. Obviously it's a very funny movie, and there's a lot of stuff in it that probably have your own feelings about it. But like, I just am reminded that like when Kevin is at this moment of distress, he runs to the church and goes and sits in a pew and listens to "Oh Holy Night," and it's like this beautiful moment where it's like, man, they would never allow depictions of
something
a church
like that today,
or Christianity in a movie at all today.
And that was
like,
so common back then.
Yeah, it's just a thing that I was like, man, that's so crazy that like.
Yeah, but I mean, realistic terms, is it really Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza?
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Yeah. I also watched that. I watched Die Hard maybe like last week, I think, at some point. Man, what a great movie that is. There's so many great Christmas movies that I don't feel like...
They're Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, on a sad note, I was watching some stuff on the, scrolling, and some of these like France and Germany and Australia have had to cancel their Christmas
everything program,
celebrations because of the Islamic issues in their country, and it's sad that this is what the result of what they have allowed to happen to their countries for their own parades and celebrations and stuff they have been celebrating for centuries.
Yeah.
To be disrupted by a group of people that absolutely shares nothing in common with them at all.
Yeah.
And they allowed all these people in their country. I do not, it's sad to me, and I worry about that here. I truly do, because
those imams are going everywhere in Dearborn telling the stores, you got to get rid of the alcohol, the gambling, and anything else, or we're going to burn your store down.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, I mean, I mean to, I know that's a sensitive topic, and I understand the, the whole thing, and but I mean, we people have got to speak up, and that this is just unacceptable. I don't mind people being here, but you need to respect the customs of that country that you've chosen to immigrate to and to be a part of. If you don't, stay at your house and just don't participate and be done with it.
Don't try to turn this beautiful country into the third world piece of shit you came from.
Exactly. And that's what.
And I think that's a quote from somebody who got a lot of flack for it, but I don't give a shit.
Right. Well, unfortunately, that's what I'm saying. And why didn't you just stay where you're at? And of course, I mean, we all know what's going on behind that. But it's just sad to see that these beautiful celebrations that are celebrating, love and brotherhood and all the things that we all think of the Christmas season, the birth of Jesus Christ, the common cultural Christian heritage that
everybody seems to be a little nicer during this time. Everybody.
Yep.
I was at Costco today and broke up a couple conversations with people who just seemed happy, and everybody just seems nicer. There was one little incident at Costco that I want to kind of bring right now, if y'all don't mind, to the lady at Costco with her son on the leash. I am sorry that I asked him if he was a rescue, but the profanity wasn't necessary, but I really appreciated her not sicking him on me.
Oh, gee.
Okay. But one thing I will say,
there was some great conversation today at Costco. People just seemed happier, even with everything going on this time of year.
Yeah.
And I wish that could go the whole time, because it used to be Thanksgiving and then they put the Christmas decorations out in the stores. Now it's Halloween. And why can't we be happy that whole time? At least get 2 or 3 months out of it instead of 2 weeks.
Right.
But look at all the movies, A Wonderful Life, and even the Charlie Brown stuff. They're jamming and dancing. Everybody's happier at Christmas time.
Well, I also had recently watched, for the first time in a long time, a couple different iterations of the Christmas Carol. Talk about something that's like, kind of scary, but also hard, that I remember from my childhood of, just kind of putting you in a headspace of reflecting on, like, okay, are you being a Scrooge? Are you being a stickler?
Yeah.
Or what, all these other, like, insert whatever
absolutely
baggage you carry around, that kind of stuff that you can
that you
reflect
don't even
on.
recognize.
Right. And then kind of have this moment of, like, maybe I should be a little bit nicer or a little more generous or caring, or, like Jason said, I think very appropriately in his opening remarks, it's a chance to slow down. It's a chance to reflect. It's, that's the whole thing of Advent, as is the season of waiting. We're waiting for the birth of Christ, and that's what this is all about. So,
yeah, we must never forget that, and we do get caught up in all the other stuff, but at its heart is, the Savior of the world became one of us, and I think that's the most important thing to remember. That everything we do, it's the Christianity that motivates and produces Santa Claus.
Yes,
so that's a lot of people focus on the Santa Claus, and I get that. I mean, it's joyful, but Santa Claus is Santa Claus because something motivated Santa Claus, and
it's also something that I feel like it was so inherent and integral to, like, what made, I think, America what it is to begin with. A country that was based on these values, on this stuff, and so, like we've said a couple times before, it's crazy to see how there's people coming in and telling we can't believe or we can't celebrate what we've been celebrating for hundreds of years.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, the history of Christmas in the United States is, and believe it or not, at one time it was illegal. It was not celebrated. For some of the, I don't believe some of the states, I don't know if it was outlawed in every state or the original 13 colonies, but there were some states that viewed the Christmas celebration as a pagan or I forget the terminology that was used, but I mean, that was a carryover from that Catholic heritage of midnight masses and all that some of those early pilgrims that came to the United States, they had come from some traditions that had deviated from that the idea of celebrating that was considered wrong or something to that effect. But I found that interesting that, at one time it was against the law to practice Christmas. And I'm sure one of our listeners will be like, that's kind of crazy. But it's interesting how we've come to celebrate Christmas as we celebrate it today as a national holiday. Right. I just saw that President Trump has given off the federal government Wednesday and Friday off.
but not Thursday?
for a holiday. Well, Christmas obviously, but he's given. So it's a 3-day weekend for federal employees.
I think it is for the state too.
Yes,
here in Louisiana, it's 2 weeks in a row.
Correct.
Wow.
So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for Christmas, and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for
New Year's. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So it's
so everybody can be happy during this time.
Well, people want to be home and people want to take care of things.
So he's shutting down the government again.
Well, look, let's be honest. I mean, there's nothing going on.
Nobody would be doing anything anyway.
Those last 2 weeks of the year there's nothing really going on.
No
parties,
exactly.
white elephant thing.
Well, then you gotta bring back all your gifts that you didn't like. Of course. And then the after Christmas sales,
of course.
So
plenty of eggnog, alcoholic or not.
I'm gonna be coming over to Stoney's house and cooking a gumbo. So I'm looking forward to that. We had fun last year doing it, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. And
that's gonna be so
if
cool.
It's as good as it was last year, I mean,
that's the goal.
Everybody very much devoured that big old pot that we prepared.
That's good.
So I'm hoping that we can duplicate
That's
that.
the goal. The goal is to either make it as good, if not a little better.
Right.
You don't want to make it any worse than last year.
So
because now there's a precedent set. Because now they're like, oh, Jason's bringing the big old pot of gumbo this year.
because like now that's the deal. I cook. I provide the gumbo for Christmas Eve because my family we celebrate our Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So about 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
Before that, I mean, Mom would maybe cook a little pizza or something like that.
Right,
it was a very easy.
Yeah.
More of a get together than go out through all the hustle and the bustle.
We don't. I mean, we don't do the big cooking anymore like we did when we were younger.
Right.
Mom, I mean, she does all that stuff for Thanksgiving, and then Christmas is more of an easygoing type of deal.
Are y'all in y'all's pajamas, or do y'all wear regular clothes?
Well, it probably will be because we take pictures.
Yeah.
You can take pictures in pajamas.
Well.
But I don't, I mean, I will probably be in regular clothes. I can't. Normally, I usually, prior to meeting Tracy, I was, I stayed up and went to midnight mass on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So that was my tradition of what I did.
Right.
But they don't have midnight mass anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they actually. I think that the attendance was just too low, and I think the bishop's order to the diocese to the priest was basically have the masses that you only can do.
Okay, so don't stretch yourself too thin.
Okay. So I think they basically looked at it and went, where most people, when it comes to that, are either attending. The most popular is 4 o'clock, and that's the Christmas bell. That's where all the kids with the bells get together. So that's the mass that with families with little kids. That's the one they're going to.
Right.
And the church is stuffed to the rafters.
Of course.
Once
you get any kind of kids in a performance, you get grandparents
you got everybody showing. Well, it's because you do that. It allows for people to and then that way Christmas morning, their kids are opening their presents, and you're not having to worry about getting ready to go to church and stuff like that. And so a lot of them go to 4. I think there's a 4 and a 7. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, it would be the next day will be probably 7:30 and then 10. I don't know. We'll probably end up going to 10 o'clock on Christmas Day. What we normally do. So it's it's not.
I'm going to a 5 p.m. candlelight service.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I remember like when I lived in the French Quarter, the St. Louis Cathedral was open 24/7.
Right.
In the 80s, you could still get asylum.
Interesting.
In the Catholic Church. Is that what it is? It's asylum? Or,
I guess, yeah.
I think that's the name for it. You could still get asylum because they were open 24/7, and if you were truly in trouble, you could seek asylum. Now it has business hours.
Well, that's because unfortunately some people have decided to go in and vandalize or steal or whatever the case may be. I mean, I know there was a it brings back to I remember a news report where a satanic group had broken into a Catholic church and stole the actual host to perform a black mass to desecrate the host. And I thought it was ingenious. The Catholic the diocese basically filed a police report that was for theft,
right?
And forced them to that's the property of the Catholic Church. It's not yours,
definitely.
And so made them bring it back. Of course, at that point, if it leaves, then they would end up performing a ceremony to basically. Do away with them because they've been kind of tainted at that point. But I mean, you gotta watch that. I mean, it's unfortunate that you actually got to close a church,
right?
But you do have people that go in and steal.
Or try and take advantage
nothing
of it.
Nothing is sacred anymore. I mean,
there used to be a point in time where you didn't steal from the church because you thought God was going to do something.
That was. I mean, the idea that what I call
people had real fear,
a healthy fear of God. I mean, it's like we hear the term fear of God of like we're not supposed to fear God, and that's quite what that really means. But the idea that you really want to go there, and
it's more of a respect,
right?
Even if you don't, that's the thing is, even if you don't probably believe or you don't, practice or whatever, there's this still quote fear, but it's I think it's more of a respect for I'm not gonna,
it's just unfortunate that is what. But the only things that are open now. There are some places that have the chapels where the monstrance is set up with the host in it, and you can go in those places. I think are open where you can go in and pray, but the churches itself I think are locked. I know mine where I go. They lock it after a certain time and. But beyond that, it's it's just a shame that's happening. But I'm telling you, it's just so tragic what I'm reading about right now. What's going on in Europe with this? It just saddens me so much. Of course, that terrible incident that happened on Australia, where those Islamic gunmen opened up a father and son. Killed like 15, 16. It was the start of Hanukkah. And they were on this very popular beach in Australia, and they opened fired and killed. Just started shooting people like fish in a barrel.
Think about this: it's so premeditated.
Yep.
That a couple of years ago, he put his home into his wife's name so that when he did this, they couldn't come take the house away from her.
Right. Because he knew what he was going to do.
This is how premeditated this act was.
Yeah. It's so.
I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, Europe is, they're Paris and some of these places are looking at this and it's just, this whole thing is a powder keg right now. And they basically just, out of abundance of caution, they've canceled. Now, the question is, do you permanently get rid of these things? I mean, do you let fear rule you? I mean, I just, to me, that tells me these countries have just completely lost control of their own country. I mean, they just absolutely it saddens me that this is a time of celebration and joy and all these. And
that's what they want. They want you to be living in fear. That's how they win.
Well, it's up to them. They're killing. From what I've been reading here, I mean, some of these guys feel like that are doing these things. They're basically following the tenets of their. They would be the fundamentalist of their religion. I mean, it's they're doing what their religion tells them to do, and it's to them all this Christmas celebration stuff is idolatrous and all these other things. So it's just a sad situation right now with that. But I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know what the answer is there, but we definitely have something to watch as that develops over time,
especially here in America.
Exactly. I'm very curious about. I mean, it's happening now. I saw an article. Some of this stuff starting to happen in a town of Richardson, Texas.
No way, Texas.
Texas elected their first Richardson, Texas elect their first Muslim mayor.
What?
This is in Texas.
What is happening?
Deep red Texas. I mean,
well, look, Houston is almost a Muslim city now.
Really?
Yes, Houston is almost lost.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this is just they have got to get a handle on this, and this idea that seemed like no one can do anything about it's just, I hate to say it, it's just it ain't good. This is just not good, and it saddens me that something I never thought I would ever see in my lifetime.
Yeah,
I'd never thought as growing up.
Well, think about this: New York,
that.
They apparently have forgotten. Remember, the thing after 9/11 was, we will never forget. We will never forget. Guess what? They must have forgotten.
Yeah, they forgot. That's what happened.
And this is New Yorkers. These are some of the toughest people on the planet.
That's what happens, though. If you look at the demographics now of that city, I think the last time we talked about this, I think they said 60% of the vote came from people who are not born in not native to the city at all. So, I mean, that's telling you immigration is causing major issues right now. And, I mean, if it would have been native New Yorkers, that guy would have never sniffed New York, the mayor of New York.
Right.
It just would not have happened.
Right.
But,
and think, what's AOC? The only reason she's in her place is because of all the Somalians and the Muslims that were brought into that state. That's how she wound up there. I say we shut down immigration. We spend some time getting rid of the people that are here that aren't supposed to be here and start over. We have laws in place. We need to enforce those laws. We don't need to actually change any laws. We just need to enforce the laws that we have.
Right.
Just enforce the laws we already have.
Yeah, but I don't think they really want to enforce the law. That's the deal. There's no desire.
Well, you know what this boils down to is the only way Democrats are going to be able to have any semblance of power. And I heard the socialism thing out there right now. Everybody wants a socialist, change America to a socialistic government. And basically what that's doing is if you take $500 away from one person and you give $100 to 5 people, you've lost 1 vote and gained 5 votes. But eventually you're going to run out of other people's money, which New York and California are finding out right now. Because people are leaving California and New York in droves. They can't even celebrate Christmas this year because they're having to move. Phillips 66 will be out of California by December 31st. They're going to lose 135,000 barrels a day of gasoline, which is of oil, which is turned into gasoline.
Right.
And they're estimating that will cause gas to go between $8 and $10 a gallon.
Ooh.
Then by March 31st, Valero? Is it Valero?
Valero.
Valero is leaving with another 145,000 barrels of oil a day processed, which they're estimating to go between $10 and $12 a gallon.
Gosh.
And then the day after Mondami gets elected in New York, the very next day, $1.8 billion of commercial real estate was put up for sale.
Really?
And the early
in New
York.
Wow.
And the early thought processes with these taxes on millionaires and billionaires, they thought 8 to 12% was going to leave. And it's looking like it's more like 30 to 35% are going to leave within the first year of the millionaires and billionaires.
Wild.
So people are recognizing what's going on, but it's time for us to be vocal.
Yeah.
And stop this. We elected this man to get into office, whether you like him or not, to do these things. The public spoke.
Yep.
And it's time to do these things and start arresting some of these people.
Yeah.
When you look at Tim, what's his name? The
Kim
governor.
No,
Tim Waltz or whatever. What's his name? The governor of Minnesota.
I think you're right.
And all the fraud under his watch, and you don't think he didn't know about it? He should be in jail. AOC should be in jail for a number of reasons. I don't know if y'all heard, but Nancy Pelosi was hospitalized this week.
Really?
Yes. Low alcohol content in her body.
Okay.
She can't,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's time to start putting these people in jail.
Yeah.
They're putting finally, they're putting term limits. They're trying to get ready to start passing a law for term limits, which would be great. I think it's time, because our founding fathers knew that if you could eventually turn service into a full-time position, corruption would follow.
Yeah.
And it definitely has. Definitely has.
I'm reading here. It says, for 2 years during the Gaza war, all public celebrations for Christmas were canceled in Bethlehem in the occupied West Bank.
Yes.
Where Christians believe Jesus was born. But after the recent ceasefire, the Holy City decided that this year the festivities would return, as symbolized by the lighting of a traditional giant Christmas tree in front of the historic Nativity Church. It's been a bad 2 years of silence. No Christmas, no jobs, no work, says Bethlehem's mayor. We're all living here from tourism, and tourism was down to zero. I've heard that. I know I've talked to my priest at the church I go to, and he's made some pilgrimages and is taking groups over to the Holy Land, which I wanted to go. Unfortunately,
yes,
when this whole thing started, but that is definitely a trip I want to make, just to go see some of this stuff. But yeah, they've been really struggling right now. He goes, the mayor accepts that the idea of resuming celebrations was not without controversy, as suffering continues in Gaza, including for those in its tiny Christian community, many of whom have relatives in Bethlehem. So they say locals, both Christians and Muslims, pose for selfies in front of the tree, hung with red and gold baubles in Manger Square. They're joined by a handful of foreign tourists. So, as you read about some of these things, as always, you read stories like that there's pockets of people that are trying to do the right thing.
Right.
And trying to make the world a better place. And yeah, I mean, that's
we got to do our little things to make the world a better place. That's all we can do. Everybody needs to.
Right.
And it's the little things, that we can do to make it better. I have something I'm looking at right now. We've all heard of OnlyFans, right?
Right.
I'm thinking about creating a website called, Older Fans. And it's just me telling you what part of my body hurts today and what minuscule task I was doing that caused it.
Gosh. Yeah, I want to see the person who paid for that.
I'm talking about hurting. I'm down with my leg.
You were down with your leg last week.
Yeah, I'm having problems with this calf of mine and it's just I haven't been able to run. I tried to run Tuesday and it just locked back up on me, and
really?
I think it has something to do with my lower back. Which I've got disc issues just from years of abuse to my body, from weightlifting and, just it takes a toll on you. And so, yeah, I've been down with that. So I've been trying to massage it, and, Tracy's been rolling it out. And
there you go.
Trying to get
helping you out.
trying to help me to get back. 'Cause I got to get back to running. I mean, I love running too much.
I was about to say, I feel like you go stir crazy.
Not being able to run.
A lot of that is a low magnesium count, and there's some magnesium oil that you can rub on your hands and your feet.
I have some of that.
I do that nightly.
All right, I'm gonna try that.
Do that.
That's a good
Rub
idea.
it on your feet and your hands and your wrist, because that's the highest absorption parts on your body. And don't try to do it in pills, because you don't know what pill you're getting, and it's the stomach acid can tear it up.
Right.
But by the time it gets into your body, it's a minuscule amount. But if you take that oil and rub it on your hands and your feet, it'll get absorbed, especially if you do it like overnight. And just let it suck into your body and see what that'll do.
Mm.
Well,
Because a lot of the things today we go through is low magnesium.
Right.
So just thought there, something Hottie Dr. Miranda always tells me, and I try to do it. But just I'm passing that on to you guys.
Of course. Secondhand wisdom. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm looking here. It says shoppers. Reading about an article here about Christmas market descends into chaos as violent brawl breaks out between travelers in front of stunned shoppers.
What?
I mean,
I can understand.
Doogie Joyce and Simon Slimy McGinley were filmed clashing in Exchange Square outside Selfridges at around 4:35 p.m. with stunned shoppers watching as the pair grappled and tumbled to the ground. A spokeswoman for the Greater Manchester Police confirmed officers responded to reports of a disturbance at 4:35 p.m. on Sunday, but the incident appeared to be over when they arrived. Officers spoke to both men, but neither would disclose anything. The men left and no complaints were made. It's a damn shame.
Mm-hmm.
I could understand that maybe a handful of years ago, but not anymore. Not in this day and age. Not in the year of our Lord 2025.
Gee, look at this.
Do you guys think you got all your Christmas shopping done? Or you still got things you got to get?
Kind of. I think I'm done. Just one or two little things.
Mm-hmm.
I got to buy 2 more things. I can get those probably this weekend easily.
Nice.
But I have.
I'm in the same boat. I have to get a few more things for a couple people.
I only buy for my family.
Oh yeah.
I don't really buy gifts.
I'm in the same way. A lot of times the tradition for us is we'll go to the candlelight service I was talking about, and then Christmas Day, or Christmas Day towards that evening, we'll all come together and usually eat something or pick up something to eat or whatever, and then we'll hang out and exchange gifts and just come and hang out.
We all have
This year may be different because my girlfriend and hopefully her family are going to be present, so that's going to be fun and a new little addition. We have a couple more people hanging around, so.
Well, we don't. We got. I always tell people we already have too much stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I'd rather just memories.
I would rather create a memory.
It
used to be when somebody would ask me, "What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday?" I would say, "Nothing. The best thing that you can give me is your time. Let's go to dinner.
Yeah.
Let's go take a weekend somewhere and go do something and create that memory."
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm losing my memory, that's even more important to me now.
Right.
Because it's the little things that just, it's kind of like, we live our lives, when we understand that it's not one more day that we get.
Yeah.
It's one less day that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start realizing the things that really matter.
Right.
And after I've been shot, stabbed, run over by a car, knocked off a building, and then this accident, which really almost took me out. They said I had a 3% chance of surviving.
Right.
You kind of find the things that are really important to you.
Yeah.
Because you're no longer invulnerable and immortal and everything else. It's like each day that I live, I realize I got one less day to go.
Yeah.
And all these craziness going on in the country and the world, when we need to realize this is not an infinite thing. This is a very finite life that we have.
Yeah.
And we need to enjoy it. And that's what I think I really enjoyed about Christmas it was like, okay, We can all be happy. We can all just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And love
chill
on
out.
each other and chill out.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like you said, and just relax and smile and just be joyous for a little while.
I've always loved like November and December for myself, and partially because I think it's what my parents have instilled in me. But like I always loved getting ready and being hyped up for Thanksgiving and like what the season of Thanksgiving meant in our household, and just taking a second to appreciate what you have and all that stuff. And then of course then going straight into Christmas season, it just oriented me in a positive headspace, and of course was more generous and giving and that kind of stuff. And then of course it brings you into this season of Christmas, which is not just about receiving gifts, but it's also about giving. And so I don't know, this time of year always, around that November, December time, like you had mentioned before, everyone feels a little bit happier. But it's, for me specifically, it's just, it's just been a moment every year to slow down and really appreciate all the things you do have, appreciate the people that you have, the moments that you have. And the past couple of years, I haven't done a great job of that. I've been overworking myself a little bit. And for the first time this year, I've had a little bit more flexibility because of the way in which my job's kind of structured. So it's been a very pleasant surprise that kind of has happened that I didn't realize. And I didn't realize I needed until, all that happened. And then I got into a relationship.
Jason and I would be very appreciative and pleasantly surprised if we could get some more brown sugar cookies.
You will. I promise you will.
Speaking of appreciation.
Okay.
We get reviews and stuff like that. But I got one here I kind of really liked because of one sentence in it.
Okay.
And so I'm going to read it. This is from Wes. Hey guys, Wes here. I've really enjoyed y'all's talking points over the past few months. Things that I and the public at large wouldn't necessarily put a lot of thought into, but should. Are broadening my awarenesses of the world around me that I really thought I understood at one point. In short, your show makes Mondays more bearable. Look forward to learning something each week. Wes.
That's nice.
How nice.
Oh, I love to hear those.
We're making somebody's Mondays a little more bearable.
Yes,
How about that?
That's great, man. I'm glad our listeners out there really are looking forward to hearing us.
I'm really
Monday.
appreciative when they send stuff like this to us and let us know how we're doing.
Send more to us.
Yeah.
We'd love it.
Yeah.
I wish we had a lot more people kind of giving their 2 cents of where they think the show should go and what sort of topics we should cover. And, we're always looking for those kind of things because, sometimes it's hard to find good topics to talk about. I think we've got some good ones coming up.
Yeah.
That we've selected.
If we can kind of transition into our Spotify Wrapped, if you guys are ready for that.
Yeah. How was our year this year?
Obviously everyone or anyone who has Spotify knows that they give you what they call Wrapped, which is around the December time. You as a user of Spotify gets, your most listened to songs, your most listened to albums, who your favorite artists are, and a whole bunch of other fun metrics and stuff that they track throughout the year for you. And for us as what they call, quote, creators, we get like a creator version of Wrapped for Retrospect. And so this year I was able to, again, over the past week or so, I was able to pull up all of our numbers. Now, this isn't for YouTube and Apple Podcasts and all that stuff because not everyone does a Wrapped. So these numbers are just for Spotify specifically, but they're really good. So if you guys are ready,
absolutely.
Okay, it says the total audience. The increase in audience from last year to this year is up by 60%.
Wow.
On Spotify specifically.
Yeah.
So that means from last year we have 60% more listeners.
That's great.
And the numbers on the back end, we have had a few months in particular that have skyrocketed out of nowhere and have had a bunch of listens and also have had people who have downloaded the majority of our catalog, which is amazing. And that's probably where some of those numbers are coming from. Next on the list is total followers. So people that specifically hit follow on the podcast itself. has increased 22% from last year.
Hey, I'll take
So,
it.
yeah. So again,
If
more
we can
people
grow-
are.
If we can grow our audience 22% each year, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
So, and I guess this is a good time. If you guys aren't following the podcast, there's a way you can click on the podcast and hit follow. Or if you're on YouTube or Apple Podcasts or something very similar where you can subscribe or whatever the terminology is, be sure to do that. Do you guys know what our top episode of 2025 is? Do you want to go? Do you want to give any guesses?
I wouldn't even. I'd have to kind of go back and just because we do the. People ask me a lot about do you remember? I said, look, I don't remember what we did because I'm prepping for the next one, and it's like but no, I have no idea.
Okay. Do you want to throw out anything?
I got nothing.
Okay. It was episode 205, and it was our Charlie Kirk episode.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
Our top episode on Spotify specifically. I think other platforms may have other ones,
vary,
but our Spotify listeners really connected with that episode specifically.
God, that thing has turned into an absolute.
Yeah. And it also says here, it says that that this episode was played about 300% more than average episodes. So I think that there's a lot of maybe those new followers and new listeners to the show potentially found us through that episode by a large margin, which is interesting and also a bit unfortunate, given the circumstances. But if you're here, welcome. We're glad that you're here. We reached 23 countries overall in Spotify specifically. So that's it's just a metric they give us. And our top countries on that list are obviously United States as one. United Kingdom is in second place. Canada is in third place. Sweden is in fourth place. And Australia is in fifth place.
Wow.
Yeah. So on the list, we have a bunch of
which is interesting because our hosting site says we're in 62 to 65 countries across the world.
That's unbelievable.
When again, like I said,
and
some
almost
of that may
1,200 cities, individual cities, which is just insane.
Right. So at least 23 of those countries potentially is factoring in from Spotify alone, which is interesting to hear from. So, and then this is something that I think is really cool. So I just want to give a preface for this one. So as a Spotify user, you can on the podcast side of your users Wrapped, on your Spotify Wrapped, you have like your top 5 and your like number 1 of like what you're the biggest fan of. So like if I listen to a certain music artist more than anything else, that would be obviously in my first place. So I am a top number 1 fan for this album or this show. So for us, they give us saying that we are in the top 10 for 52 of our fans. So that means that 52 people amongst our Spotify listeners, we are on their top 10 list at the very least. So we're somewhere in that top 10 list.
That's wonderful.
Of those, so that means that, and it says that the top 5, so that means that our podcast is within the top 5 for people is 42. So that means that there's only like 10 people that have us lower down than their top 5%. So 42 people, that's incredible. And then of those, it says that we are the number 1 show for 25 of our listeners, which is incredible. I think that's really cool. Like there are 25 people on Spotify specifically that we are their number 1 show. They listen to our show the most.
They're regular. Yeah. They're consuming our content on a regular basis.
Literally number 1 fans, which is really cool. So
well, you know what?
25 people.
That's that's considering where we started.
Yeah.
We've slowly built an audience, and that makes me feel good that people like what we're like listening to us for about an hour each day.
Right. And I'm cool with the fact that there's 42 people that we're in their top 5. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
but the fact that there's 25 of those people that we're their number 1 show, that's really cool. And then here the next little slide it gives me is it says that the top fans streamed. So again, of those like people that have us in their top 5, they stream our show 6 times more than everyone else, than any other show that they listen to or any other podcast on the platform. So the people that like us really like us, which
That's
is
right.
which is great to
Hell,
hear.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
And then it says 20% of our entire audience binges 2+ episodes in one day. So that means that there's a lot of times if people listen to one episode, they're more.
They're probably checking out some of the older stuff.
That's probably
too,
about a quarter of our audience, or a little less than, watches or listens to 2 episodes at a time, which is kind of
great. Well, makes me feel good.
And then again, that same percentage, 20%, also play within 24 hours of the episodes dropping. So that means that 20% of our audience, again, on Spotify alone, the second within 24 hours of a new episode dropping, they listen to it. Just like what you said, Wes, who's like makes our Mondays a little bit better. There's 20% that's like, yep, I'm going to listen to this on a Monday when it drops within 24 hours.
That's great. Well, I'm glad that we were able to be a part of those people's lives, and hey. Spread the message.
Yeah.
Share the podcast. Talk to other people that
give us a great gift and share it to 20 people.
Exactly.
Give the gift of Retrospect podcast to friends and family.
And then that kind of segues into this next part. If you know anybody that likes these podcasts as well, maybe you can recommend our show to them, because the top shows that we are, I don't want to say competing against, but our audience base on Spotify also listens to these podcasts here, which number 1 in that position is the Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah. Number 2 is the Tucker Carlson Show.
Wow.
Then 3 is Strawberry Letter. Never heard of that one before. 4 is Run That Prank. Again, never heard of that one before. And then 5 is Real Coffee with Scott Adams. I do believe I've heard that one before. So if it is anybody that likes those podcasts,
maybe they'll like ours.
Maybe they like ours, because again, great minds think alike.
That's great. Love to hear that.
And then it says that fans listened to you for longer than 86% of other shows. So again, as far as like total listening hours, that means that they listen to our show throughout its entirety longer than they would. So it means that other shows they probably turned off preemptively before finishing it. And then also we received a bunch of comments on a couple of our episodes, which is nice, because again, it was more than last year. And we also received a bunch of shares. It says you received more shares than 85% of other shows on the platform.
Oh, wow.
So that means
that's great.
Yeah. So
keep going. Keep pushing us.
We're in an upper percentile of people that actually share the
we need a kind of put a benchmark on these stats. So next year,
I do.
I want to see what the difference is.
I don't think I kept 2024s, but I think I do have 2023s. I think, and I don't know if they gave me the same details as.
Well, that'd be great. So. You say so? How many people? You said 40-something people were number.
We're on a top 5 for 42 people. So that means there's 42 people on Spotify that we are in their top 5 podcasts.
Next year, I'd love to see a double.
Yeah.
That we're in the top 5. That would be great.
But for number 1, so for number one fans, we have 25. So
that's great.
So that means that 25 people on Spotify, when they receive their Spotify Wrapped, and it goes, let's see what your top podcasts are. Retrospect podcast is right there in the number 1 spot, which is really fun.
That keeps us. That kind of keeps us in that keeps circulating, keeping us there, and wonderful to hear.
Appreciate the shares and the support. It's really cool. I'm excited about that. But anyways, I just wanted to share some of that, because obviously, again, this year they went into more detail. As far as all the statistics they gave me, because I think the past couple of years it's kind of just been like, oh, congrats, you've gotten a couple of shares, or whatever. But this year I was scrolling through it and I was like, oh my gosh, look at all this, look at all these numbers, all these. It was really cool. So I took screenshots of it all and I saved it all for us today. So,
well, thank you so much for compiling that and sharing that with us and our listeners, and just to give everybody out there just an idea of kind of just how we're doing as a podcast, that obviously we're resonating with a certain group of people out there, and our hope is that just keeps growing.
Yeah. I feel like we would probably still do this show even if not a lot of people listened, But it does make it nice to know that there's a handful of people. There's probably at least 24, 25 people out there that really like us or like listening to us. And if
that's just on Spotify.
That's just on Spotify. And if that's you out there, I hear you. I see you. Thank you.
I think we have a great deal more than that.
I think we do as well. And it's cool to hear, it's cool to hear comments like from Wes, I
like that. Makes his Mondays better.
Yeah. Which is nice.
Mondays are always hard to get to work.
100%. And that's partially why whenever we began all this, that's why we chose Mondays. We're like, it's the start of the week. We can drop something first thing in the morning, help somebody out with their commute, or as the week goes on, if they need a little pick-me-up, or they just need a little something to listen to, here we are. But yeah.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. And that's exciting. That just gives it a little motivation to try to step up our game and try to do better and try to make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe bring on more special guests. And that's kind of what a lot of people would be driving to would want to see is what other people have to say. And always that fourth person. Adds a unique dynamic to the show.
Right. So, especially a lot of the guests that we've had in the past. They always bring, I think, a really great perspective. Or
I'd love to there's a couple I'd love to get here, but sometimes it's hard to try to arrange for that. So it's obviously we're obviously doing something right, and thank you everyone that has chosen to be a part of the Retrospect family.
The real core of this episode has been to chill out, to slow down, and to really appreciate this holiday season, and I think some of this has helped out with that as well, for me at least, to just kind of realize to stop and smell the roses, or stop and look at the statistics. That there's a lot of hard work that goes into this show from all of us individually, and to help make the magic happen, and then to look at that and go, oh, okay, so maybe all this hard work is kind of going into something. But is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we?
I think that's it.
Okay.
We had should be a fun season.
Yes.
And, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's been fun.
I agree.
And I look forward to what the future holds.
Christmas isn't canceled. Nope. Not around here.
Not here.
Not
Christmas is strong here. So I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for being the center of my life, and giving me a lot of great things in my life, and and I want to thank him for that. And it's going to be interesting. I said getting married next year. Life is
that's now another one bites the dust.
Getting married next year,
bites the dust.
I am excited, and it's going to be it's a new chapter for me.
Yeah,
and we probably, after that happens for about 6 months, and you get somebody living with you or engaged, we'll probably have to change the name of the show to Yes, Ma'am, Dear.
Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say.
Yes, Ma'am, Dear.
I love that.
Just you love someone, and you try to you do your best to to make that person happy. And
I agree, and I'm happy for you. I've said this numerous times on the podcast and off the podcast. I'm happy for you too, and I'm excited. And I don't want to rush anything, but I'm excited for the wedding ceremony. I'm ready. I want to get gussied up and
so. I gotta go. It's coming up. Matter of fact, we met with the reception hall. Yesterday. Had a little sit down to kind of go over the last bit of details. We'll meet again to kind of wrap it all up. But we've finalized a lot of things with the food and
of course
all the
logistics,
the bar and all that stuff. So it should be fun. Hopefully it'll be the weather will be nice.
I have faith. I'll be good. Well, until next week, thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everyone, and God bless.
Normally, I do the closings here, but I want to offer our listeners a small gift in a phrase that I heard that will maybe help your life out, and then do my closing. But The gift I'd like to give our listeners is, no matter how good the hand soap smells, never walk out of the bathroom sniffing your fingers.
Okay.
And my closing for the day is, the Christmas story reminds us that Jesus didn't arrive with spectacle. He arrived with presence. He fed the hungry. He clothed the exposed. He taught the searching. And then in grace, he gave joy. That order matters. So when we give gifts that reflect need, dignity, wisdom, and joy, we're not just giving things, we're forming hearts. And in a world obsessed with more, choosing enough might be one of the most faithful acts left. That's Christmas. Thanks for joining us today and being part of the Retrospect podcast. We appreciate you and we need you, and you inspire us. You're the best. Peace.